Sometimes I forget. Oh,
too late.
too late. Too late. We're already live. Well, oh,
Oh, dang it.
Yes, well, we'll have to play it. We'll do it live. Forget, we're doing live. Welcome, everybody, to Action Theater Presents. Today's feature is 1999's The Mummy. I know if you're having a problem with the link to the screening room, hopefully you've been there before. Anyway, that is the link right there, and it's pinned at the top. However, as much as we would love to bring you to these films live for you here on YouTube, we are restricted by the copyright law and guidelines of YouTube, so we have to have a different screening room. Anyway, just wanted to get that out there. Hello to Resolute Germ and our friend of the channel, Connie Clary. All right, so the synopsis reads like this. A deep Egyptian desert, a group of people searching for the long-lost treasure have just unearthed a 3,000-year-old legacy of terror, combining the thrills and adventure of suspense of a horror movie. The Mummy is a true non-stop action epic, starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep, Kevin O'Connor, directed by Stephen Sommers, also Jonathan Hyde and Adair Fair. What do you have to say about this film there, Deleted?
Oh, obviously, a big fan of this one. A lot of fun. Enjoyed it back in the day. Unfortunately, didn't see it in theaters, but did get a chance to see it on home video. 1999, pretty good year for film, and this was one of the better ones.
Oh yeah, I thought when this came out, Universal was doing right by putting out. I mean, this is right where the Mummy a remake should be and how it should be, and very pleased with this film. I actually got this. I got to see this in the theater again, like I think it was 6 or 7 years ago, at an old theater here in Tucson. It was awesome. Anyway, hold on to your butts. Head over to the screening room, and we'll start this flick for you. I'm sure this is going to be probably played on AMC and is also probably on Pluto and some other platforms there for you to watch if you can't view with us today. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I really like Brendan Fraser's in this. He did a spectacular job. So did all his fellow actors in this film. So we're back in time in the land of the pharaohs in Egypt. Things are still being built in this great city of Giza, where all the pyramids are.
Of course. Oh, hello. And, that was actually painted on her.
Yes, hopefully back then they didn't have reactions to the paint. Like some actors get reaction to the paint. Hopefully it was a non-toxic, non-rashy type of paint. Oops. See?
Yeah,
Yep.
as you can see, yeah, it when he touches her, it comes off. So, oh no, here comes the HNIC.
Yeah, what are you doing here? What are you doing with my wife? My priest.
Meow.
Yes.
Shh.
Well, she opted out with death do them part. They've been cut gold-handed.
Yeah,
They've been cut gold-handed in this case.
this Stargate prequel is weird.
Yeah. Here we are at 1290 BC. Yeah, never put me down for mummification. It's a quite a painful ordeal. They take the singing, they take your brain out through your nose. Oh no, they're cutting his tongue off too. You shall not speak in the, the land of the dead. We're just gonna put these carnivorous beetles in here with you, so you'll enjoy that for the rest of your whatever.
To 1923.
Howdy, the voice of Northern Oklahoma. Thank you for being a member for 14 months, Curtis Shelby. Hello to Andrea Black. Good to see you. Of
Of course, Brendan Fraser is our hero, Rick O'Connell. Kevin J. O'Connor is Benny. Uh, Basically, the cowardly turncoat rat. Comic relief.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you have the Foreign Legion here, who's in battle with what turns out to be the Magi, because they have crossed into in the Hymenoptera, and the Magi have sworn to keep that area sealed off because the mummy is buried in there. So, and you get an idea of what Lawrence of Arabia, directed by John Woo, might have been like. Here we go.
Damn you, little Benny. What the heck just happened? Why am I still alive? Something supernatural happened. It's a giant face. Kind of like the one they found on Mars.
Hmm. uh,
Which
whatever happened to
one?
Ned Fair? He's still around, Curtis. He shows up and stuff every now and again. You spot him, but I know, of course, he was in, I think, what, two of the Resident Evil movies, two or three of them. Um, he was in the Splinter Cell TV series on Showtime. He plays the villain, actually. What was he was on this other cop show? They killed off like the original actor, and then they brought him in to like replace that guy. I forgot the name of it, but oh yeah, he still shows up here and there.
This film was my first introduction to Rachel Weisz. She
Mhm.
came off as a nerdy girl, and then she turned into this really hot chick that acted
Yeah.
in all kinds of movies. LFKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Oh, you made a mess,
What-
girly girl.
One woman wrecking crew here.
Oops. Yeah, oops.
And of course, Eric Avari, character actor, shows up in Stargate, which I brought up earlier, Independence Day, many other movies.
Thanks,
Thanks. Of course, that's a good bit of foreshadowing because we're going to start to see the plagues here very shortly.
Well, at least she didn't get fired.
No.
I'd say her boss took it rather well.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a member for 4 months. FKHC 2005.
course, her brother Jonathan is played by John Hannah. Four Weddings and a Funeral, the Spartacus TV series. Um, and if I remember correctly, had like a little cameo bit in The Last of Us during season one.
One, no, didn't watch it.
Hmm. And of course, this is the key to open up uh, Imhotep's tomb.
And the Black Book of the Dead. Uh, he's kind of a klutz, that guy.
Well, also remember he did that on purpose because he's Magi and he's trying to keep them from going. And of course, here's our pal again from Sky Captain, um, Ahmed Jalil.
Yeah, the reason why he's locked up.
Every damn day. Support Cairo. Mm.
Ike, as in Lee Iacocca?
No, that was a character who's referred to as Hook. Okay. Ah, the Americans. Corey Johnson, of course, you might remember from Hellboy, and he's also in the Bourne films. Tuck Watkins, Stephen Dunham, Jonathan Hyde. This is it, my little buddy Benny. I think I'll kill you.
Someday I might. And he means it literally.
Bye,
Bye,
Benny.
Benny. Somebody else just entered the boat. Yes, but you keep thinking about it, though, right?
Curtis letting us know he's going to be doing a watch party later on of Once Upon a Time. Map. It's all up here. Oh! How dare you save me?
That's just the Nile River. Nice, Curtis. And they're all cowboys.
Time to go.
Tell you, until flames burn off your eyebrows.
Benny, looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Her sister
Yeah.
cleans up nice. Hello. Hello, Evie. We are at 35 minutes, 13 seconds. Oh, Sandstorm deleted, got deleted. He may be back now. Ah, yes. Slowly getting back here. For if you're wondering, for anybody who need a timestamp, we have the timestamp of 36 minutes, 54 seconds.
Day for night shot.
Damn you, Betty! Stop that! So long, Betty. There's where we can see camels can really run. And Rachel flies out of control on her camel. Evie by a camel nose. Here at the ruins of Hamanatra, a group of unwilling explorers have no idea what they're getting into. Oh, it's him.
I don't think so. I'm not your pal, guy. I'm not your guy, buddy. Sorry. And then people might go, hey, what is he going to do with this little pee-wit gun? And then you remember there's like a 12 gauge round in there. He can take somebody's face off with that thing.
I don't care as long as our smelly little friend's away from us. And blue gold, I don't think so.
Mm.
Yeah, let's let the help open it up.
By Jove, I think he's found it.
Sarcophagus. Very naughty. Very naughty, naughty. Oh, he was a naughty boy. That Emotep. I should know. I'm Emotep.
And of course, the scarab.
And it's burrowing into his shoe.
Burrowing into more than that.
It's in his leg.
Voldemort. Man down.
He knocked himself out cold.
Here we go again.
They're burning our tents.
Blam. That was handy.
He sticks the dynamite in his pants or on his belt. I don't know if I'd stick a dynamite on my belt. You know that stuff is very unstable.
Who left it sitting next to a fire to begin with?
Yeah, yeah. Who's the bright idea guy who did that? And, oh, I thought you were going to say a liberal. I thought you were going to say a liberal.
No, no, no. You are not the librarians. That was Rebecca Romaine.
So get the volunteers to open up the chest. There you go. That's not good. That's really not good. Bye, Benny.
Ew.
Juicy. Hello to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Welcome and happy Thursday to you. Our timestamp is 1 hour and 3 seconds. That happens a lot. Yes, it does. Too late.
Uh-oh.
Oops. She did another oops. It's focus. Yeah, there are your glasses. Damn, it would suck to be that blind and not be able to see. Like, who turned out the lights? We're good. You took your eyes and your tongue. Oh. Well, there were some hungry scarabs. It says there's a T 5999. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It will not stop until you are dead. Oh, wrong one. This is a great scene. Welcome to Choose Your Religion Day. Not Buddhism. Port Burden, Cairo. spill this drink. You walk through a fountain.
Incoming.
Fire and brimstone.
Jip like saying, "This is when my son said, good kitten in the theater." Who told him to go running off anyway? Whoops. I was kind of sorry to see this guy go. You know, he would have been. This guy actually would have made a pretty decent O'Connell. That kind of look.
Thank you for drinking Juice Box Human today.
You get. There you go.
Emotep, Emotep, Emotep. I love this scene. Emotep.
That's a zombie movie.
We are at 1 hour, 23 minutes, 40 seconds. Emotep. When you find yourself in a political rally and they're just hollering gibberish, just start saying Emotep, Emotep. I've always wanted to try that. Yeah. Emotep.
Now,
Uh-oh, you're out. Just do like Jonathan did it. Emotep, Emotep. Oh, he comes for you now. Emotep. Wait.
beginning that back. And who the hell doesn't want to do that, huh? The good old days. He's thinking this.
He looks like he's having a
blast.
ball. Yeah.
Hello, faster.
Whoops. Oh, jeez. It's vested. Even Benny's like, hello, below, man.
Yeah.
Hello to JPRPH1. That's kind of a difficult one to find, Tim. That was, I know there was a VHS copy many years ago, but I never saw it go to disc. Yeah.
He went out the way he wanted
Yeah,
with
he
his
did.
face on. Well, at least the old chap's going to have a proper burial. You want to help? So shut up.
Priests. Here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Mummies.
Yep.
Damn it! Give up, you old bag of bones. They're only mostly dead. Bring out your dead. Uh-uh. Run away! Run away! Hey, these guys cheat. They can run on walls. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're in trouble, buddy. You no longer control the guards.
Whoops. Bye, Unc. Until the sequel.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, let's put it on the lever. Good one, Benny. Good one. You can always count on your pal Benny. Bye, Benny.
Bye, Benny.
Well, I have to tell you that the best sequel is The Mummy Returns. That's a pretty good sequel, and then they just get crazier and stupid after that. Scorpion King had some bad CGI, like sci-fi and shush bug. You got a hungry scarabs, and they're all ready to feast on the only meat around, you, Benny. It was only looking for a good time.
Omnopterous Underground for good this time.
Wait, you got camels. It's like you don't have to walk out by foot. Benny left something for you on one of the camels.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yes, he did.
He left you a little something. Because Emo Tep was horny.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
It's good to be Brendan Fraser. Yes, he gets the girl. As they ride into the sunset. That was 1999's The Mummy. Their sequel, The Mummy Returns. Would you like to consult the scrolls?
All right. Consulting the scrolls. The Mummy was released May 7th, 1999, an estimated budget of $80 million, going on to gross over $417 million worldwide. Was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Sound. And was nominated at the Saturn Awards for Visual Effects, Best Actor, Actress, Director, Screenplay, Music, Costume Design, and Best Fantasy Film, winning for Makeup. Was nominated for Visual Effects to BAFTAs, Best Musical Score to BMI Film and TV Awards, Was nominated at the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards for Favorite Actress, Actor, Supporting Actor, and Favorite Villain. Was nominated at the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards for Best Score, Makeup and Creature Effects, and Supporting Actor for Arnold Vosloo. Nominated for visual effects at the Las Vegas Film Critics Society Awards. Nominated for Best Action Sequence at the MTV Awards for the Sand Monster scene. Motion Picture Sound Editors Golden Reel Award nominee for sound editing. Nominated for visual effects at the Online Film and Television Association. Nominated visual effects at the Satellite Awards and the Awards Circuit Community Awards, which is weird, but okay. Won the Bogey Award in Germany, the Golden Screen Award, also from Germany, and won Best Film Score of the Year from the International Film Critics Awards. All right. Scrolling down. All right. Was filmed between May 4th, 1998 and August 29th, 1998. All right. Was filmed on stage A, C, D, and H, Sepperton Studios, Sepperton, Surrey, England, UK. 8, Ben Haddou, Morocco. The Historic Dockyard at Chatham, Kent, England, UK, which doubled as the Point of Giza. Jema Elfina, Marrakesh, Morocco. And Dorma Volcano, Erfurt, Morocco, aka the lost city of Hamnaptra. The French Ponds, Farnham, Surrey, England, UK, for the Nile, the water scenes after the boat burns down. Jebu Musa, Morocco. Greater London, England. The Mentmore Towers, Mentmore, Buckinghamshire, England, for the interiors of the Museum of Antiquities in Cairo, Egypt. Urzate, Morocco, probably mispronounced that. Royal Naval Base, Chatham, Kent, England. And Glen Canyon, Arizona, in the good old US of A. All right, on to the trivia. Brendan Fraser nearly died during a scene where his character is hanged. Rachel Weisz remembered he stopped breathing and had to be resuscitated, a.k.a. they nearly really hung him. Damn.
Yeah.
Blixa Bargeld of the German industrial band, I'm not even going to bother to try to pronounce that, is credited as having provided the spirit voices. Imhotep is a real historic figure, but he wasn't the high priest of Pharaoh Seti I. He was the architect who developed the first pyramids in ancient Egypt, most notably the pyramid of Pharaoh Djoser at Saqqara around 2600 BC. His ability was such that he was later said to have descended from the gods. His name means one who comes in peace. And as far as anyone knows, he was not a despised villain as portrayed in the movie, but more likely revered as the architect and physician he was. Seti I was a real pharaoh, but he ruled around 1300 BC, almost 1300 years after Imhotep had died. Anaximon was an Egyptian princess who was half-sister and wife, oh Jesus, to Pharaoh Tutankhamun. They lived in the mid-1300s BCE, decades before Seti I's rule. With the exception of a loincloth, a few pieces of jewelry, and pasties, Patricia Velasquez was nude except for body paint, which took 4 hours to apply. Ardith Bey, an anagram of Death by Raz, the name of a sworn protector of mankind from the mummy Imhotep. However, in The Mummy, Ardith Bey is the alter ego of the mummy Imhotep, played by Boris Karloff, and he attempts to pass for a modern Egyptian. Note the difference in the spelling of both names. An Egyptologist was brought in to phonetically render what ancient Egyptian might have sounded like for the dialogue. The prison scene was shot entirely in an apartment complex in Marrakesh. The library disaster was done in one take. It would have taken an entire day to reshoot if a mistake had been made. John Sayles did an uncredited rewrite. Hold on, the page jumped on me there. Let me get back. Okay. According to director Stephen Sommers, Universal phoned him the morning after this movie was released and said, "We need another one." It was originally planned to open the film with the old black and white Universal logo that had been used at the beginning of The Mummy, which would dissolve into the blazing desert sun. The white nightgown Evelyn wore when the ship was attacked became transparent when it got wet and had to be digitally painted white during post-production so the film could keep its PG-13 rating. The opening voiceover was originally intended to be read by Imhotep. Director Stephen Sommers later realized that Imhotep wouldn't be able to speak English and gave the voiceover to Ardith Bey instead. The rats, exactly, Tim. All right. When King Tutankhamun's tomb was found on November 4th, 1922, the person in charge was Howard Carter, who was employed and funded by George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon. Carnarvon's daughter, Lady Evelyn Herbert, accompanied Carter to Egypt to view the discovery. Rachel Weisz's character is named Evelyn Carnahan. Originally, her character was meant to be Evelyn Carnarvon. She and her brother were the children of the quote-unquote cursed Lord Carnarvon. The only evidence of this left in the film is the line where Evelyn tells O'Connell that her father was a very, very famous explorer. The Mummy novelization goes into a bit more detail on her backstory. This was the first theatrical film to be broadcast on the WB television network. Clive Barker, Joe Dante, George J. Romero, and Wes Craven were each attached to direct at different points. The White Cat in Evelyn's apartment is given no name in the film, but in the movie novelization, the cat's name is revealed to be Cleo. A different take of Ardith Bey's introduction scene on top of the mountain was later used in the film when O'Connell and crew were crossing the desert at night. This time the lighting was adjusted accordingly. During the filming of this scene in which hail and fire fall down on Cairo, dried dog food was painted white and used as balls of hail and thrown on the set. While filming, John Hannah sprained his wrist and had to wear a brace on it, which shows up during his final scenes. The building used for the Cairo Museum was an actual government building in Marrakesh. The locusts shown in the scene at Hamanoptera were mostly computer generated, but a number of live grasshoppers were used for the shot. The grasshoppers were chilled in a refrigerator to make them more sluggish and easy to film.
That makes sense.
The line, "Think of my children," given by Benny in this scene aboard the riverboat was ad-libbed by Kevin J. O'Connor. The scenes showing the Cairo streets were shots of Souk in Marrakesh, which was so expansive that the actors and crew were warned not to wander too far from the set or risk getting lost. The shots of Giza Port were shot in England and edited digitally to show the pyramids in the Nile. The scene in the Cairo prison was shot on the very first day of filming in Marrakesh. The children shown in the shots of the Bedouin training outpost, as well as the shots of Air Force runways, were low Marrakesh. The scene in which the scripts come from the sands chase the explorers was done by using an air compressor on the set that would simulate insects emerging from the sand. In the scene on the riverboat, Benny is thrown overboard and into the river by O'Connell. During filming, Kevin J. O'Connor helped Brendan Fraser to appear as though he was throwing him overboard by jumping up. Brendan Fraser's camel during filming was named Barney. In one scene, Benny is shown with a sack full of gold, which he is trying to load onto a camel. Benny pulls the camel by the reins, but the camel doesn't budge. The camels all, for some reason, hated Kevin J. O'Connor. Kevin J. O'Connor had been roughed up so much during the filming of the scene with Benny in the Egyptologist's office that he was badly bruised. It had to be, and his nipples had to be iced afterwards. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Fair enough. Okay. I don't need to know anymore. Despite the name, the title character was never mummified. His followers were, but he was subjected to a very different death. Right. In the original script, Evie was supposed to say, "He's gorgeous," when she first sees the fully resurrected Imhotep. The line was filmed but removed from the final cut. The plastic dummies used as the dissociated corpses in film to represent the mummy's victims were the same as those used in the cult 1980 sci-fi film Life Force. One character even refers to the mummy sucking the life force out of people. When Clive Barker was attached to the project, the film was intended to be a low-budget horror film. Barker's vision for the film was violent, with the story revolving around the head of a contemporary art museum who turns out to be a cultist trying to reanimate mummies. George A. Romero was brought in with a vision of a zombie-style horror movie. Makes sense. Similar to Night of the Living Dead, but this was considered too scary. This was the last cinematic film of Bernard Fox. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Chris O'Donnell, Matthew McConaughey, and Sylvester Stallone were considered for the role of Rick O'Connell. However, director Stephen Sommers maintained that Brendan Fraser was always his first choice. Cruise would later star as the lead in the 2017 reboot. Leonardo DiCaprio was rumored to have been offered the role of Rick O'Connell. It's believed DiCaprio was said to have loved the script and wanted to be in the film. However, he had already agreed to star in The Beach. It's also said that DiCaprio asked if The Beach could be delayed so he could film The Mummy, but the producers refused. However, filming The Beach was delayed anyway. The scene in the beginning where Imhotep is mummified freaked out actor Arnold Vosloo. He had to be in bandages for 4 hours to film the scenes where he's wrapped up and put in his tomb. The Magi were originally supposed to be tattooed from head to toe. but Stephen Summers vetoed it because he thought Oded Fair was, quote, too good looking to be covered up. Stephen Summers came up with the gag of Evelyn saving Rick from 2 gunshots on the burning boat the night before they filmed the scene. In 2004, Universal Studios theme parks, Hollywood and Orlando, opened their Revenge of the Mummy rides based on both this movie and The Mummy Returns. The rides became so popular the lines would stretch into the main park with riders waiting for hours. Sorry. I hate it when people pull up in my driveway.
Yeah.
2004 Universal Studios theme parks, Hollywood and Orlando opened their Revenge of the Mummy rides based on both this movie and The Mummy Returns. The rides became so popular the lines would stretch into the main park with riders waiting for hours in the hot California or Florida sun. To alleviate the stress of waiting, when the lines would move, fans of the movie would warily chant "Emotep." Hypnotized townspeople halfway through the movie.
I heard the ride closed in California, but which is sad because I never got to ride it. I hope it's not true.
During the scene when Imhotep is raising the sandstorm in the desert, the camera had to quickly pan up. The wind machines being used kept blowing Arne Vosloo's cape up, exposing his backside. Get some pants on that guy. And thank you, Lady Mist. All right. For the television broadcast version of the film, a small bikini was painted onto an Oxanamon's body. Quit trying to cover these women up. Damn. Jonathan Hyde's close-up scene during the locust swarm had to be reshot several times as he could not keep a straight face with so many locusts crawling all over. All right. Anna Friel was considered for the role of Evelyn. A cloak lent by the British costume rental company Angels and worn by an extra in this one was discovered to have, in fact, been made for Alec Guinness when he played Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. Kevin J. O'Connor, of course, plays Benny. Previously appeared in The Troubles and Law and Order's first season. That episode, like this movie, features a character named O'Connell who is generally addressed by surname only. Stephen Summers cast Rachel Weisz after seeing her performance in The Land Girls. $20 million of the film's budget was set aside for the elaborate special effects. One of the unforeseen problems with shooting in the desert was that the sand would cause all of the guns to jam. The firing of the weapons would later be filled in by ILM, Industrial Light and Magic. The name of Oded Fair's character, Ardith Bay, isn't used once throughout the entire movie until the end credits. It isn't until the next movie, The Mummy Returns, that his name is used out loud. When Jonathan accidentally brings the army of mummies to life, they go after O'Connell. Brendan Fraser runs across skeletons that are floating in water to get away from the mummies while making the same sort of noise that his character George makes from George of the Jungle. I actually turned out to be right here. Okay. Stephen Dunham auditioned for the role of Rick O'Connell, but he was rejected. But Stephen Summers liked his acting so much that he made up the character of Henderson just for him. I told you that guy would have made a decent O'Connell. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Cool.
Brendan Fraser was cast due to the success of George of the Jungle. Stephen Summers also commented that he felt Fraser fit the Errol Flynn swashbuckling character he had envisioned perfectly. The actor understood that his character doesn't take himself too seriously, otherwise the audience can't go on that journey with it. Rachel Weisz was not a big fan of horror films, but did not see this film as such. She said in an interview, "It's Hokum, a comic book world." Yeah, it is. It's a comic book movie. It's fun. Yeah. Arnold Vosloo understood the approach that Stephen Sommers was going for in his screenplay, but only agreed to take on the role of Imhotep if, quote, "I could do it absolutely straight. From Imhotep's point of view, this is a skewed version of Romeo and Juliet." He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's, yeah, he's the villain, but what is a villain? They're the heroes of their own story. He thinks he's the good guy.
This is this version of the Mummy is how I think they would want to do it if they could have did it back in the 30s when the original Mummy came out. This is them with a big budget, and they had more technology available to them, and it's a great version of the Mummy. I mean, I think of the old Mummy, and I think this is how they would. This is how it should have been. How technology's come along, and I'm grateful that they went ahead and made this film, and it's all around great. Like it's in my top 20 of 100 films you must see. Is there any more scrolls?
There actually is. Yeah. There's quite a bit more actually,
Okay.
but I'll try and get through a few of these.
Well, carry on, sir.
Let me see. All right. All right. Well, this goes into the background of what a few of the rejected versions of this film might have been like. George A. Romero's version was a vision of a zombie-style horror movie similar to Night of the Living Dead, but which also relied heavily upon elements of tragic romance and ambivalence of identity. Romero completed a draft in October 1994, co-written with Alan Ormsby and John Sayles, that revolved around the female archaeologist Helen Grover and her discovery in Abydos of the tomb of Imhotep, an Egyptian general who lived at the time of Ramses II. Unfolding in a nameless American city in modern times, events are set into motion when Imhotep inadvertently awakens as a result of his preserved cadaver having been exposed to rays from an MRI scan in a high-tech forensic archaeology lab. The script then progresses to a fish-out-of-water story when Imhotep, having regained his youthful appearance, recognizes the need to adapt to a contemporary society that is 3,000 years removed from the one he came from. Assuming at first that he is a representative from the Bureau of Antiquities, Helen finds herself drawn into a tentative relationship with Imhotep, while also experiencing clairvoyant flashbacks to a previous life in the 19th dynasty Egypt as a priestess of Isis. Summoning mystical powers through incantation, Imhotep later resurrects the mummy of Charis, a loyal slave whose body had been resting alongside his master's in the same tomb, but it is now held in the local museum. After escaping into the city's sewer system, Charis embarks on a vengeful rampage against the various criminal offenses in high society and I can never pronounce that name. Antiquarians, you know what I mean. People who collect antiques, who had acquired stolen relics from his tomb. Romero's script was considered too dark and violent by James Jackson, the studio, who wanted a more accessible picture. Mm-hmm. Compounding the issue was the fact that Romero was unable to extricate from a contract for a different film project.
he had in negotiation at the time with MGM, so his involvement with the film was severed, and the development of an entirely new script was commissioned to other writers. Joe Dante's version would have cast Daniel Day-Lewis as the Mummy. This version, also co-written by John Sayles, was set in contemporary times and focused on reincarnation with elements of a love story. It came close to being made, with some elements like the flesh-eating scarabs making it into the final product. However, at that point, the studio wanted a film with a budget of $15 million and rejected Dante's version. Stephen Sommers described his version of the film as a kind of Indiana Jones or Jason and the Argonauts, with the mummy as the creature giving the hero a hard time. The crew could not shoot in Egypt because of the unstable political conditions. To avoid dehydration in the scorching heat of the Sahara, the production's medical team created a drink that the cast and crew had to consume every 2 hours. Sandstorms were daily inconveniences. Snakes, spiders, and scorpions were a major problem, with many crew members having to be airlifted out after being bitten. The production had official support of the Moroccan army, and cast members had kidnapping insurance taken out on them, a fact Stephen Sommers disclosed to the cast only after shooting had finished. Jeez. Stephen Sommers toyed with the idea of opening the film with the old Universal Film logo, which would dissolve into the desert sun. He would later use that opening for Van Helsing, although the logo would turn into the film of a torch instead. The filmmakers reportedly spent $15 of the $80 million budget on special effects provided by the Industrial Light and Magic. Yeah, we read that. While the film made extensive use of computer-generated imagery, many scenes, including the one where Evelyn is covered with rats and locusts, were real, using live animals. All right. I'll read these last couple off and cut it off there. To create the mummy, John Andrew Burton Jr. used a combination of live action and computer graphics. Then he matched the digital prosthetic makeup pieces on Honor Vasu's face during filming. Burton said, "When you see his film image, that's him. When he turns his head and half his face is missing, you can see right through onto his teeth. That's really his face, and that's why it was so hard to do." Vasu described the filming as, quote, a whole new thing for him. They had to put these little red tracking lights all over my face so they could map this into special effects. A lot of the time, I was walking around the set looking like a Christmas tree. All right. Production designer Alan Cameron found a dormant volcano near Erfurt, where the entire set for Hymenoptera could be constructed. Stephen Sommers liked the location because, quote, a city hidden in the crater of an extinct volcano made perfect sense. Out in the middle of the desert, you would never see it. You would never think of entering the crater unless you knew what was inside that volcano. A survey of the volcano was conducted so that an accurate model and scale models of the columns and statues could be replicated back at Shepperton Studios, where all of the scenes involving the underground passageways of the City of the Dead were shot. The sets took 16 weeks to build and included fiberglass columns rigged with special effects for the movie's final scenes. Another large set was constructed in the United Kingdom on the dockyard at Chatham, which doubled for the Giza port under Nile River. This set was 600 feet in length and featured a steam train, an 8-jack traction engine, 3 cranes, an open 2-horse carriage, 4 horse-drawn carts, 5 dressing horses and grooms, 9 pack donkeys and man mules, as well as market stalls, Arab-clad vendors, and room for 300 costumed extras. All righty. There's a lot more. You can go to IMDb Pro and check that out.
All right.
I'd go on, but we'd probably be here for another hour.
Yeah.
Just quite a bit. All right. That is it. The scrolls are closed, and please feel free to check out my page. I do have a page on IMDb Pros, so go over there and say hello.
All right.
All right.
Let's get on to next week. Next week we will bring you, since it is the month of October, 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula. That'll be next week on the same Deleted Scenes channel, same Outlaw Bills channel, right here at Action Theaters, same time next week. We might have to do a few extra because I want to play the Bram Stoker's Dracula. We'll do that next week, and then the Wolfman from 2010 because I really like that film, and Lost Boys. I got to do the Lost Boys in the month of October, and then I also like to do Young Frankenstein. So. Yeah, we'll be doing those here this month on this Action Theater Network. We do hope you can join us for some of that. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Lady Miss. You're welcome. Always a pleasure to see you, the Emoji Queen. Curtis Shelby, the voice of Northern Oklahoma. Connie Clearly, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Let's watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. JPRPH1, strong supporter of Deleted Scenes channel, and yours truly. Thank you very much. And of course, FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. We had Big Al dropping by to say, just popping up to say, give a thumbs up. Well, that's okay. We appreciate you, buddy. Big Al. You can see Big Al. Was it the first Friday or Saturday night? We're doing a Film for a Friend feature. I think Deleted Scenes will be there.
Yeah. Friday night, I will be the guest on Films with Friends. And, well, tomorrow night. Yeah, in actually about less than 25 hours. Yes, I will be the guest on Films with Friends. And this week's movie from 1989, Scott Spiegel's Intruder. About a serial killer that gets loose inside of a grocery store during the late shift.
Cool.
And it's got a few of the Michigan Mafia in there. Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, and Bruce Campbell. All among the cast. So it's going to be a first watch for me. So really looking forward to it.
Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Thank you for being here. The voice of Northern Hopla. Resolute Germ. Go check out he's got great Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday. And with a few of our friends on a couple other channels. On CG, hope you all dropping by and say, hope you all enjoyed the movie. Well, I hope everybody did too. Anyway, that'll be. Thank you all for coming here this evening. Do come back next week. Always remember, be excellent to one another. Party on, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great evening, folks. Deleted Scenes.
All right. And I do want to thank, once again, everyone who joined us for the show. There were more than 30, at least on my end. And there's usually times 2 of that on Bill's side. So thank you for everybody who was following along with us at one point or another during the broadcast. Hope that you enjoyed the show. Please hit the like. Share out the stream, say hello in the comments, and hey, if you have any suggestions for maybe some future movies, ones that we haven't done before. Hey, let us know, and maybe that will show up on a later broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And as I always say at the end of every show from HQ, our second home office in Arizona and all points north, southeast, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Don't summon any mummies, because this is how we win.
Indeed.